Um, so I'm going to be doing plants tonight. If you were curious why there's not something on my screen, it's because I actually have the house plant next to me. Also, I see Wumbo. So I hope you're doing well after your sore throat fiasco. I am. I think honestly it was just a bit of hay fever. It does tend to happen at around this time of year. Um, yes, forest plants are models. Also, Wumbo too. So what I'm planning on doing tonight is I'm going to do a few different methods of studying and drawing plants. Um, there are a few ways that you can go about like doing plants, especially because this is digital art, not traditional art. And when you are doing plants digitally, you have a little bit more flexibility with them because unfortunately with traditional art you do actually have to draw everything by hand. But digital art, because of their outlining tools, um, or because of outlining tools, you can sort of paint the general shape of the plant and then have an outliner go around it, which is what I'm going to do for this first one. Is I'm going to paint the general shape and then do an outline tool. So what's up? Not too much. We are working on plants tonight. Um, I came here just to say hi because I need to fix my sleep schedule, and staying up late on a school night ain't good. No, that's completely understandable, and I hope that you get good sleep. I will say it'll be a very quiet night tonight, so if you want to sleep to stream, then that will be possible. This will not be a very loud or like crazy stream. Also, yes, Minecraft music. If you're watching what I missed on the stream after I leave my cutoff, no worries. First time catching stream, happy to be here, and welcome in, Boba Apple Sims. I got my tablet and I'm drawing with you, Critter. That's awesome. I was gonna say, if you wanted to do the studies with me, while I won't be using references of plants on the screen because I want to be able to turn the plant pots around while I'm working on them, if you have any houseplants in your house or your apartment or wherever you live, you could grab one of those to join and study along with me. Let me put you on the Lichens of Ireland book, and the Dicadus. How do I spell that? Rainforest of Ireland. I will have to check that out. We were just watching a video on the Rainforest of Ireland the other day. Also, welcome in, Poyito. I'm working on another animatic to stream. Oh, that's awesome. Also, I recognize this song. Yeah, I just put on Minecraft music in the background to listen to because I wanted to listen to something that was kind of calming. Ireland has a rainforest. So what Ireland has is a deciduous rainforest. It's a pretty rare type of biome, actually. Um, it's because deciduous rainforests are usually a little cooler. I would really recommend. There's a really interesting YouTube like video sort of documentary on deciduous rainforests. I might fall asleep to the stream, honestly. I mean, if you did, it wouldn't be a bad thing. I was going to say, I know a lot of people were talking about their sleep schedules needing to get fixed. Is that a morning glory? This is not. This specifically, actually, that might be a forest question because I'm not sure what this is. There's also one in the Appalachian Mountains. There is. Morning glory is actually my birth flower, though. I do love them. I think they're really pretty. So the other thing is, this goes in like this. And then there's actually another stem that comes out to the side here. And then there's a leaf here. Deciduous rainforest. Aotearoa, New Zealand mentioned. Is there one in New Zealand too? I didn't realize that. Oh, okay, so this is a philodendron. Thank you, Forrest. I can write that down. Philodendron, not an N. And this can be our first sort of study for the night. But I just staked her to a long piece of wood so she grows up versus out. That's true. I was going to say it has a similar kind of growth vine pattern to pothos, but I don't know if it is actually a type of pothos. How do you find out what your birth flower is? It's based off of months, yes. So September's is either Aster or Morning Glory. And what's your favorite plant? Personally, I really like orchids, but we can't keep them. It's too cold. Is there a reason it's being drawn in black? Yes. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do the silhouette of the plant first. And I'm actually going to fill it in kind of like a painting. And then afterwards, I'm going to surround it with an outline and hollow it out. And then I'm going to draw in the details if I see them as necessary. I'm going to do a second study after this where I go through and I manually draw the stem outlines because I want to see which I like the stylization of more. It's basically just as a means to practice the different ways you can stylize plants, and this is with a focus on digital art, because if it was traditional, you wouldn't be able to do this the same way. I opened my commissions today. I'm wondering if you would have advice for finding anyone who'd be interested in commissions. I would say that there are a few places you can share. There's the commission shop Tumblr, but also, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there is a commissions tab in the Leica's Discord. I could be wrong. This is a reminder to water my plants. Anyone who hasn't should as well. This is true. If it's time to water them, sometimes it might be too early. I'm a fan of any flower that looks like bells. I also love Lily of the Valley. That's another one of my favorites. There is a commissions channel. Okay, I didn't want to fib, but I did not know because I am not in the Discord myself. Can you draw roses? I don't have much experience with them, but I would like to get better. I'm starting with leafy plants because I think that there's more times that I'll draw leafy plants in art pieces, but I actually am not that good at drawing flowers. I want to improve. Every time I try, I feel like it doesn't turn out the way I want to. So that's going to be another topic of study for a different night. And also, you could probably do this with traditional if you use a marker. You know what? That's actually true. You could probably do this with an acrylic marker where you do a kind of blobby gesture, and then you paint over top to get the actual refined details. I'd be curious to see if this transfers well over as a skill to working with acrylic markers, because we actually have some acrylic markers, so it wouldn't be difficult to try. I wanted to keep a Venus flytrap, but I want it to be nice. But I want to be nice to it and do my research first. Also, my room doesn't get much sunlight. I'm not sure if they need a lot of sunlight, but they do definitely need things to be warm. I know that for sure. And usually those things go hand in hand. I think they also need a lot of humidity. Can you draw a rose? Yes, just draw a cabbage and color it red. How to draw a cabbage? Draw a rose and color it green. I have drawn roses before, but they've always been very stylized roses. I would like to definitely learn how to draw flowers in a way that looks a little, like, I guess stylized, but like it feels, like when people say draw a tree and someone draws like this. This is what my roses feel like to me. I know that it will read as a rose, but I want to learn to draw them like they actually look so that I can properly figure out how I would want to stylize them after. I think it'd be better to keep them outside. One day, my betas and Venus flytraps. Well, I was going to say, if you find a way to make it so that they share an environment, which is actually very possible, you could probably keep the Venus flytraps above the beta fish tank. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. And I'm also going to take this and put it on its own layer. If you surround the kind of silhouette shape here and you extend it, I'm going to do it by 5 or 6 pixels. Actually, it might need to be more than that. Let's do 10. I saw a TikTok that had I saw a TikTok of a place that had cherry vanilla matcha. Is that where you'd like to go for one of our places for Valentine's Day? We were just talking about, oh, you know what? The only reason this doesn't work? No, I know how to do this. Okay. Okay, so then what I do is I grab all of the silhouette from this layer, and then I do this. Okay. That sounds yummy. So Forrest and I were talking, we were talking about what to do for Valentine's Day, and one of the things we wanted to do was go to different cafes in Philly and just try them out, and then specifically try ones in places where we wanted to see the neighborhood of. Also, hello, welcome in, Dino God. Hi Pars, huge congrats on your tank being pH shrimp ready. Yes, his fish tank, or his shrimp tank is now all ready to house shrimp. It is officially shrimp safe. Let's see, so this is this here, but I actually need to shrink this down. You did an excellent job capturing the shape of the pothos leaves. I could instantly tell what it was. Thank you. I like plants. I don't think I'm particularly good at drawing them yet, but I do want to get better. Also, thank you for the pet, Cyan. Almost, I was too excited. Wait, that sounds awesome. I hope you guys have fun with it. Well, and so what we were going to do is we're going to go to a cafe, and then we're going to sit in that cafe and then try to find the next one and basically have like a little coffee tour. I thought it would be fun because then we can know all the spots that we want to go when we move there. The only thing that's perplexing me about this is I think either I was sitting up higher when I was first drawing this. Oh, no, that's the one in the back. Okay. It's a little bit of a mystery figuring it out now, but it's not possible. And then... See, the thing that works well with this is that it does get the shape very well, and I don't think that the silhouette gets lost as it might if I was doing individual lines, but we'll see. We'll see how the different ones look. I'm not liking this kind of like pixely outline that happened though. That's pretty simple though. That might be as simple as like cleaning it up after. So bar hopping but with cafes? Basically, yeah. And then we can try smaller sample drinks from each place. Plus I could bring a book, which I think would be nice. Or we could just talk. Personally, I wouldn't be able to stand all the caffeine. I would say that one thing you can do to like do something like that is you don't have to get like big drinks. You can get like a smaller drink and then split it with the two of you if you're going on a date or if you're going with a friend you don't mind sharing a drink with. Do we change layers now? Oh, I wasn't changing layers. I actually just hollowed out the inside of the silhouette that I made and then used the sort of outer lines. Also, I apologize. This serves less as a tutorial and more as an experimenting with style for myself. But if you were wondering what I did, basically all I did was paint the silhouette and then I made a new layer to basically take the outer line work of it, or like the outside ring, to turn it into sort of like a pseudo silhouette line work. This exercise is going hard. Thank you. Just draw the silhouette and put a layer mask over it. Why didn't I think of that before? Honestly, it's something that I've seen a few comic artists do, and I think what it does is it really captures the feeling of the plant in a way that manually drawing all the lines sometimes misses. Not that manually drawing the lines is a bad thing. I think it's really good to get that practice in, but there is some benefit in doing silhouette paintings too. So this one actually kind of bevels like this. Again, other than the little pixely outline, or like kind of how the line art is kind of crunchy, I don't hate this as I was expecting to. Can you do the silhouette strategy again? I'm actually still doing it. I just painted the silhouette and then hollowed it out. But if you want to know what I did, basically, really quickly, I made a little, pretend that's my plant silhouette, selected it, extended that selection by 10 pixels, on a layer underneath, paint bucketed that in. Now you go to the layer where your original silhouette is drawn, take that selection, and then hollow out the inside, whether it means erasing or, something else. And then you basically have free line art. Sorry, I do not control that there are sirens outside. So it's a very easy way to get kind of like a quick line art just by painting the shape of something, which sometimes is a little easier than drawing it. You can also turn your layer white and go into the layer options and give it an outline. That also works too. Hello, Lebby. What's up, Not much. I am currently working on doing plant studies tonight. I'm very excited because my boyfriend's houseplants are serving as my models. This is not Minecraft music. It is very cool though. They're gonna arrest Critter. I think there's been a lot going on our street. I think that there's been a lot more activity on our street specifically. I'm not sure why, but I've just noticed that there's been more sirens than lately. I'm gonna be finishing up a character design during stream today. I wish you luck. I was actually just working on Belier before stream. I was working on the armor. They're gonna arrest them for giving out artist pieces. This method would be useful for Art Nouveau. Nouveau? Oh, my French is horrendous. I would like to know what that means, though. Hold on, I'm consorting Google. Consulting? Consort is different than consult. Oh, in architecture. Yes, actually. I use this for architecture a lot. Nouveau. Thank you, Lemmy. Alright, there. Arrested for having too good art? That will never happen, but I appreciate your confidence in me. I think I have charming art. I know that word from Pokemon XY. Do they use that in XY? I was unaware that there was a architecture subplot in Pokemon XY. Oh, the other thing I did is I connected the veins of the leaf to the center, and I didn't do that on the other one. I was wondering why this looked different, in a different bad way. Hi Critter, I've been having a rough day, among other things. An event I've been looking forward to didn't go how I'd hoped, and I had to leave early. We are having a better day than I am. I will say, unfortunately, Mabel, we got some bad news today too, but if anything, it's good reason to come together and draw. So, and also, Nouveau basically just means new, if I'm not mistaken. Oh. That day hovers, I love you. I also had a shaky start of my day. It was a very mean Wednesday today. But it's okay. That's why we're here to study, and that's what doing art helps with. I just finished the head of my character ref sheet. I'm probably going to leave soon to work on the body. Have a fun stream, everyone. No worries. Also charming art. I really like that. I think it's a way for me to think of my style and my work without the pressure of having to be good. Like, something can be charming without having to be perfect or be good. Also, I'm only fixing that up because I didn't think that really captured the bottom of the leaf shape all that well. The vowel in it's pronounced more like vocabulary, so it's nouveau. Also, I'm not going to get started on the Valentine's draw to adopt thing. Oh, you're now going to. I see. First time in your stream, and it's only been here for 2 minutes, but it's so cozy and your voice is so soothing. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will joke sometimes I grew it all myself. Okay, wait, so this is coming from here. This is this one. And the other thing you can do is you can create sort of a harsher drop shadow where leaf overlays stem, which is what I did here. Because it shows that something is being overlapped and shadowed. I find that that's very helpful, personally. And I will also do that in some places where the leaves overlap other leaves, too. Speaking of the draw to adopt, I submitted my art today. I'm very excited to go through them all, actually, and decide our winner. I'm going to have Forrest help me choose again because it is for Valentine's Day after all. Is this craft music? Yeah, I do like Minecraft music. I think it's pretty relaxing. I might not play the game very much myself, but I enjoy the music from it. Also because I was listening to Bjork before stream, and I know if I play Bjork I will get copyrighted. Also, hello. Welcome back, Ramon. If you need a tiebreaker, and let me know. I didn't end up submitting because I'm busy. No worries, and I definitely will. I will consult. All right, now I want to know the difference. I will ask our local frog. It is consult. That's what I'm asking for. So what's consort? A wife, husband, or companion in particular, the spouse and reigning monarch. That's not what I mean. The song you showed me is also good. Miles liked it. I was going to say, so consult is what I was thinking of. I would not say that you are a consort. This shape is a little weird too. I can show the philodendron once we're finished with it, although the picture won't be very pretty because the desk is, it's dark in here, so I only have my one overhead desk light. It doesn't result in the prettiest of photos, but it is something. Where are you coming from? Oh, I suppose this is supposed to be the one that's in front of it, although I must have moved, or the plant itself must have shifted. Did we just get time looped? I don't think so. Help, they're putting me as a third. We're keeping you in the frog jar. Lemmy frog jar, and we're keeping you as our friend and taking you on journeys. Actually, I was just thinking about you the other day. Thank you so much for introducing me to music. I had the typical music taste of every other Tumblr user, not inherently bad, but it's been great dipping into goth music, early 2000s rock, rap, etc. Genuinely appreciate your help broadening my horizons, of course. When I was gonna say, I think a lot of times when people get like self-conscious about their music, there's nothing wrong with having similar music taste to other people, but it is also, it feels nice to be able to bring new things to the table, which is why I encourage people to try new things. Also, hello, Lullabugs, welcome in. I could put her in my fish tank. Lemmy would eat my shrimp or be kind to them. Are you asking her if she would eat your shrimp? I think she might eat them. Oh, I was thinking about you, Lemmy, though, because I learned how they make frog lights in Minecraft because someone was looking for how to make them. And apparently you have frogs eat magma slime, and then they turn them into frog lights, which I think is really funny and just a very strange process of getting frog lights or getting like a buildable block. I'm not really sure how people were meant to like organically discover that. Meowdy everyone. I realized earlier I could have brought my 3DS with me to school to play Pokemon while I had a 2-hour break. Today's question: if you could make your own Minecraft biome, what would it be and what structure would be in it? I'd make a forest of massive flowers and bug nest. Personally, I think that it would be really cool to have like, so I appreciate what the biome from the creaking was going for. I do think that like a white forest is a cool idea, but I think it would be fun to have like a white forest, like a snow white forest. So I think I would keep the spruce trees, or I would use dark oak trees in them. And I would have like the lily of the valley type flower. If I had to have a structure, maybe I would have a villager house similar to the witch's hut, but it's just like a Baba Yaga style witch. I think that would be fun. And I would have both wolves and rabbits spawn there. I think it would be nice. Howdy everyone. Oh, I already read that one. Highlights this one. There's another fun linguistic thing. In English, when it's a homonym, which syllable you stress will change it from a noun to a verb. Consort is what you described. Consort is to do the things that a consort does. Socialize, keep company. That's crazy. A white forest? No. Okay, wait. So this one you can't see the stem to. It's kind of hiding behind that. The magma slime thing used to be huge in the community because it was initially that they ate fireflies, not slimes. However, it gave Minecraft backlash because apparently that's not safe for frogs. Which is even stranger because why would a magma slime be safer for a frog to eat than a firefly? I guess it's because it's a fantasy thing, so it's not as bad. Really fascinating. That's what he is, isn't it? He is white mystery. We don't know. Probably. That's like we say yes, probably he is. Everyone knows frogs love to eat magma slimes. Lemmy, is this true? You've had a snack you like this whole time and we didn't know? Alright, let's see. So these go out more like this. I think it was changed from fireflies to present kids from giving kids the idea to feed frogs. Pets are they find, fireflies they catch. I see. It is, but it's kind of embarrassing. Don't worry, your secret is safe with me. Can we have a yippee for stream? Yippee! I think it's because frogs are fictional, whereas fireflies and magma slimes are real. This is true. So people don't feed fireflies to their frogs. That makes sense, because you can't really feed a magma slime to a frog. I hope. I don't know where a child would find that, but they very easily could find fireflies. They did the same thing when you could originally breed birds using cookies or something. I didn't know that ever existed. I thought you just couldn't breed birds in Minecraft. Like, at all. I thought that was something that doesn't exist. Or no. No, wait, no, I thought you could. Maybe with seeds? Chat, do you want to see the adopt I'm cooking? I do. Even if no one says yes in chat, I'm saying yes. You find them in nature, you just gotta go to the nether. You can't breed parrots at all. It was taming. Wait, that's right. You can't breed them, I don't think, because seeds are for taming. Initially, because of the backlash, they just straight up never added fireflies, but recently they added firefly bushes, which is cool. Also, there's no baby bird model. Oh, I really like this Lemmy. I'm very excited to see. Also, if you were looking for input, I personally think I like the middle two body shapes. If you were looking for input. Add baby birds to Minecraft now. Alright, so this one has some overlap actually from the leaf above it. And this will look a little funky until I add some other tones, but for the time being, trust the process. The way Lemmy draws feathers is so well done. To me, no, I agree. I love it. Hi.
I'm gonna try this.
Oh, with the yogurt?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not like with. I wanted a dessert, so I went for the yogurt.
Yogurt and peach soda is a really interesting combination. I have to ask you, is that soda, is it bubbly?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if eating something dairy when you eat something that's also got bubbles in it is, I don't know if it will do anything, but it doesn't sound...
Find out.
You're gonna find out?
Yeah.
With your own body?
You want to smell?
I do kind of want to smell. I would take a sip. Yogurt peach soda sounds like a dessert my mom would make.
You can have a sip, because you gotta remember where we got these.
No, I know. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not sweet at all.
It smells like it would be.
It does smell like it would be. It's not. It's a lie. And I don't even need sugar most of the time, but that was just basically... I think it's seltzer. It's not soda.
craft sparkling water.
Okay, I understand now. Tummy ache central.
Mm.
Again, I'll drink black coffee. I just was expecting it to be sweet because it smelled like peach. Sounds like cream soda, but not. I've had peach soda before too, and it was really nice, but that specific one was not. It was the peach soda of deception and lies. Also, this is the part that's confusing me a bit. I'm not really sure where this leaf was coming off of. Do you have a favorite soda? I know I just said I had peach soda before. I don't really like soda. It's not very. I don't like it because it's not very good for you. Um, and I usually prefer like juice or water if I want something that's not coffee. And I do know about the Milky's sodas, yes. It's gonna be bad, bro. Don't do it. I think that he'll live. He has a very strong stomach. Finally caught one of your streams. Welcome in. We're working on plants tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to fill these in with gray. Just so that I can do some value studies. I do think I'm also going to do one where I just draw the lines. Because the thing that I'm looking at here, again, I'm really annoyed by how crunchy the line work looks, I guess. So it's good for short term, but I guess maybe it would work if I used a brush that had less texture. Also, Yadi, it's been a while since I've been able to join. Welcome in. So I'm going to go with my darkest value first and paint up. And looks like I got everything. Also, philodendron doesn't have an O? Really? Kind of funny to imagine the soda instantly killing all of the probiotic bacteria in the yogurt. Okay, there we go. So it is interesting to see what parts of the plant are light, though. Also, I like caffeine. I like caffeine for the taste of it, not necessarily. Sorry, I like coffee for the taste of it, not necessarily the caffeine. Took me a while to get there. The bumpiness makes it look fuzzy. Yeah, I can see that, and it is frustrating because I know that I can draw cleaner line art than that. I guess it doesn't look terrible, but I know that I could make it look better, which I suppose is part of why. Also, I think I'm gonna make this the lighter color. And then this here. Could always use that as a sketch layer and draw over it. That is true. I was also just going through and cleaning it up. So also, Lemmy, I think you came in after I said this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do two different versions of this. One where I do a painted silhouette like I did for this, and then another where I just draw the lines by hand to basically see which I like better. I'll probably end up at the end of it liking somewhere between the both of them. But I wanted to try both methods just for practice. Not my bad. No, not bad at all. Not your bad at all. I only said it like once or twice right at the beginning. And then we got into this. So here's the other thing. I'm going to grab a lighter color here for some of the underleaf scattering. And then I think there's even a little bit that goes onto the stem that makes it a little lighter, like here. I'm almost done with my fluffy rainbow cardigan. My gauge was way off, and it turned out way bigger than it was supposed to, but I think it's salvageable. I don't know, if you're crocheting it, you probably can't wash it the same way that you would something that wasn't crocheted, but my first thought was, if you wash it, would it shrink? Also, I love the brush you're using. Thank you. I actually built the brush, and it is on my card, which is linked in my YouTube bio. So if you wanted it and you wanted to try using it yourself, it is available there for you to use. Hey Critter, I have an important question. I saw a cat today that I really want, but I'm not sure if my place is cat ready. How do you make sure a place is cat proof? She's an older cat, so not a kitty. One of the biggest things I would say is make sure that there's no like strings or wires that are down on the floor that she could eat. Really, it's not too difficult. No lilies, lily like the flower, and make sure there's no way they could eat anything with onion, garlic, odd one, but like chocolate is also not. Most animals can eat chocolate though. I'm trying to think about what else. Do you plan on doing another traditional art stream? Yeah, I would say so in the future. I know that we've been pretty busy with Leica's Comet, which is part of the reason that we haven't been doing them as much. But I do think it would be really fun to do a traditional art stream again in the future. So I'm going to grab this here. Also, thank you for the hydrate. Unfortunately, it won't shrink because it's acrylic. I see, I see. I think it's usually cotton that shrinks in the wash. I could be wrong, though. I'm not super well versed in fabrics. I would like to be, or at least I'd like to be more so. So this one is actually more of a mid-tone, which I think is interesting. It's not like super dark, but it's also not the same brightness as some of the other plants here. It actually only starts being light like here, not even at the fold. It's hey, doing research on caretaking for an older cat would be good and specific, though obviously depends on how old she is. That is true too. Wool also shrinks, that I did know. Oh, I think putting things away on shelves if your cats like to jump and climb is another thing. Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, it's hard to have things out on display when you have cats that like to jump up on the surfaces. Actually, I think this needs to be a little lighter still, too. And then there's like going to be a highlight here. Museum putty does mean if you put museum putty on things, it gets easier to display them. Pisses Harbor off so bad that when I use it, he can't knock the thing off. And this one here is going to be lighter. Is it true they go wild at 3 a.m. co-signed a bird owner? Yes. Well, some of them. So it's less that cats go wild at 3 a.m. and more that cats have eating and hunger cycles. So usually a few hours after they've eaten something, they'll be asleep. It usually goes like they eat, they kitty ram for like an hour after they eat, they nap, and then as they're getting hungry again, they kitty ram again. So you have to try to feed them with that in mind. Basically, thinking like if you are going to feed your cats, try to do so at a time where it's not like make sure that the time that they would be kitty ramming isn't going to be like 3 a.m. when you're asleep. We feed them usually when right before we go to bed, so then they sleep through the night with us after they get their little after eating kitty ram out, and then they get rowdy again, usually like 5 or 6 a.m. And also, are you doing these studies for Leica's Comet or just for yourself? Honestly, I'm doing these. I'm doing these for myself, but I feel that most studies that we end up doing will they eventually come into some use with Leicas at some point. So it's less that it's not for Leicas, and it's more just like there's no deliberate reason that we're doing this, but I think that it'll help. Almost all studies help with our webcomic work. Clocking into zoomies. That's basically what it feels like they're doing. This will be edited tutorial uploaded later or just a VOD. I would like to get back into doing more edited tutorials. This one specifically, because it's not a tutorial, it is just like a study for myself. At least this, what we're doing tonight, I don't think will be edited, although I might go back to this and then revisit these strategies to make a tutorial. Because I don't have like a lesson or anything planned tonight. This is more just like me practicing different methods that I've seen people do. I'm sorry, I have the hiccups, and so my throat's making horrible noises. Alright, so this one needs to be a little brighter at the end. And then this one needs to be brighter pretty much all around. But otherwise, that's my grayscale mostly done. I do want to do the line version, and I also want to get rid of that highlight there. I don't like how that looks. What is everyone's cat pet names? Mine is Wonder, Brownie, Chuck, and Twinkie. Those are all really cute. We have Harbor, Pluto, and Buggy. I also think I want to make that a little lighter. Yeah, I like how that looks much better. This is a very nice way to do it simply. I think there's a few things that like I said, the kind of crunchiness of the outer line is bothering me. But when it comes to convenience, this is a very hard strategy not to, like, appreciate. I also cannot stress how nice it is to have this plant sitting next to me in real life, because every time I think I'm done drawing it, I look around and I will find new details on the leaves, and sometimes I miss stuff like that with photos because I can't actually physically like get closer to it. Speaking of Leica's, are we going to meet Roboid's dad's next chapter? Not the next chapter, but you'll meet them eventually. I don't know if it's quite that bright. Hi.
Hi. Sorry, what I like about this plant is I don't know if you can see, but on some of the leaves there's like a sheen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this one. This is probably the best leaf. All these are kind of messed up.
I know, but I think that even the ones that are messed up, they add to the charmingness of the plant. Although don't move it because I'm using it as a reference. Okay, so that's my first. This is with the silhouette method. Now I'm going to get beat by this word again because I'm not sure if I'm spelling this right. I'm leaving it, I don't care actually. Okay, so I'm going to do the one where I draw. I do think that the plant shifted a little too, because one of these leaves is now like facing away from me when it wasn't originally. Plants do settle over time too, especially like as it gets darker. I just think it's interesting that it happened that gradually that I didn't notice it. Oh, there's a H in it. Silhouette. Okay, thank you. Also, I think this is Dragonfish. This is one of my favorite Minecraft OSTs. I love plant time lapses. They're really fun to watch. Like, it reminds you that they are living things, even if it's not the exact same way that you and I are. I mean, technically they are. It's just not in the way that we usually think of life existing. It's not sentient life, I guess. They wiggling. Well, and I think it's cute that they. If there's music I can't hear it, I can turn it up a bit. I just didn't want it to be overpowering for my voice. The thing that I will say that kind of gets lost in the silhouette one is that loses some of the it loses some of the energy I feel comes from line work. There is a convenience to it, and it also means that there are some places where it overlaps that will be a little bit like, I don't know, they'll lose some of the depth I find, but I think I like lining it better. It's also Minecraft music, so it's not meant to be very noticeable at anyone concerned. This is true. I could turn up the music again so that it's not too loud. My cats are Sasha, a ginger male tabby, and his sister Storm, a gray female tabby. Storm is a very cute cat name, too. Okay, so then there's like a curve of the stem here. I think if I'm doing this, the best thing that I could do is probably draw the full stem first so that I don't confuse or lose anything. Hi, Heart. Oh, wait. Hi, Buggy. Don't eat that. Don't eat my model. Okay. And then the other thing is I don't think I really got the nodules of the plant as naturally as I could have, because with all of these curbs, there are little nodules in the stem. And I think that they serve as really nice kind of benchmarks in the figure of the plant itself. Oh, and that's much higher than I was drawing it, actually. That was not at equal parts. That was here. Let the child consume. No, he cannot eat this. Salad for the kitty. See, I have a salad bag that's waiting in the fridge, and I'm very excited for it. That might sound silly, but I don't know. Sometimes, and this happened a lot as I got older, you'll just start craving specific healthy foods because I think your body is like, okay, I need this right now. I had sushi for dinner, and that was good, but now I'm like, I feel like I need a plant. Okay, that looks much better than what I had before. I've been like that with oranges and tomato parmesan soup lately. The fruit one is huge too, especially in the winter. I feel like I'm always looking for fresh fruit. Winter and summer I get that way. I had sushi too, crunchy California roll. I just had sashimi. Actually, it's a lie. I had a tuna avocado roll too. My body just wants the color orange. You know, it might be worth looking at what vitamins both of those foods share, Snow Fog, because it's possible that there is actually something that they have in common that you don't realize and that may have to do with their orange coloring. Or not. I just think it's a fun science experiment when stuff like that happens. Oh, this is such a weird... It's a weird shape because it like bevels in at the top, but the actual form of the leaf stays pretty rounded. At least from where it's sitting to my perspective. Munching down on salad cabbage, not just an entire cabbage, but we have like an everything bagel salad bag, which I'm excited for. It's got a good mix of everything, which its name does denote. Okay, hold on, I do have to crack my knuckles. I just popped in, are we studying plants today? So actually, yes, studying plants, and the plant is sitting on my desk next to me. It's one of my boyfriend's houseplants. I wanted to study plants specifically to figure out the ways that I would like to draw and study and stylize them, because there are a few different methods I've seen artists use to make plants quickly. I started with one that I don't usually use as a warm-up to try something new, and now I'm doing this how I would usually do observational life drawings for a plant. Also, I don't know if Forrest is listening to this, but speaking of cravings, and this is going to sound very weird, if you are, could you make like 2 hard-boiled eggs? I can also make them after stream, but I was just thinking about that. I'm like, that sounds like really good right now. Just like the nutrition info on my specific soup and oranges, I think I need more potassium. I was thinking it was either potassium or possibly vitamin C. Stream just joined. What silly shenanigans are we up to today? Currently studying plants. Hi, Buggy. I'm a hungry beast. Chimera would eat a whole head of cabbage in spirit. In practice, I think that might kill them, but in spirit, they embody that chaos. Exactly what I'm thinking. Like, if not for the texture, I think they would do this. Also, Bucky, I can't see. Also, hi. I love you. I need to be able to see the plant. He's like a wiggly worm. Vitamin C was my first thought too, but my soup doesn't have that vitamin listed despite being from Whole Foods and having real tomatoes. It may still, especially because it's wintertime. I don't know why they wouldn't list it. Oh wait, you know what? This is just a weird like nutrition thing. It may not be listed when you see the health facts thing. You have all of these lines here, and then there's a little section that's down at the bottom that's also like includes these vitamins. It's not going to be here because vitamin C, if I'm not mistaken, is not technically a mineral. And I could be wrong, but just remembering it could be down here. Because I remember looking at that, and so it'll say, like, contains, like, some percentage of your daily needed vitamin C. Some packaging does this, though. Add Buggy to the life drawing. You know what? If he comes back and he doesn't move around a bunch, I can do that. Vitamin C is an amino acid, if I remember correctly. I think so. It's been a very long time since my school health classes. It's usually listed at the very bottom. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad I remember that part at least. This is a very random thing, but in high school health class, one of the things that we were taught was how to read food labels. so that we could know what the things included actually, not just what they meant, but like where to find them. So if we were told like, oh, you need more fiber in your diet, where do you find the fiber content? What is the amount of fiber you should be getting in your daily intake of food? What are things that Americans like struggle to get in? One of the two things that a lot of Americans struggle to get in their daily diet is fiber and omega 3s, which are a specific kind of fat, if I remember correctly, which is really concerning, obviously, because there's not really a single nutrient that is more or less important, but omega 3s are used. Amino acids make up proteins, not vitamins, but vitamin C is an ascorbic acid. Interesting. Wait, I should have known amino acids are proteins. I don't know why. I feel like I remember that specifically, though. The government told me there was a war on proteins. I see. So, you have to understand that under this current administration, a lot of men conflate their masculinity with their ability to consume as much raw protein as possible, which is why they're all dying of colon cancer in their 40s. Acting as if they hunted the steak themselves and did not just go into their wife's Honda Civic to pick it up from the Whole Foods. Not me. I'm eating so many avocados. Well, I was going to say that is a really good source of fibers and fats. Avocado's great. Fish is a really good one, like salmon, tuna. Um, I will actually say red meat is good for you. Uh, I actually, there's, in limitation, of course, there are things that are in red meat that are important for you to get, but some people, like, don't consume it in balance with other things. Yeah, exactly. It's good in moderation because you need the iron from it. There are other sources of iron, of course, if you're someone that doesn't eat meat. But I think that people, in the same way that they heard someone say that fats are good for you, they're like, okay, so I'm only going to eat and I'm only going to drink heavy cream with everything, and I'm like, oh, good lord, you are going to be using the restroom very much. Um, I think people get that same sort of reaction when they hear that red meat is good for you. Spinach is another good one. I love spinach. I love spinach and I love seaweed. I actually had seaweed before stream too. Although I almost got another thing of seaweed. I don't think vitamin C is an amino acid. Vitamin C is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning its chemical structure resembles fat more than anything else. Also, thank you, Blue Cry Furry. That's potion of live in the bathroom. So many people eat in ways that I'm like, your guts. I'm so scared for you. What does seaweed taste like? It actually tastes very much like whatever you cook it in. Specifically, I eat dried seaweed, but I also like seaweed salad, which is a different kind of, it's a different way to eat it. Seaweed salad is a very unique taste. I don't know how to describe it. I've never had anything that tastes like it. But seaweed, like roasted into chip form, it mostly just tastes like whatever seasoning you have it in. I personally like it with sunflower or sesame oil and garlic. You can also just have plain nori and do wraps. I guess the best way I could describe it is it just kind of tastes like salt water or like the ocean. It's good though. I like it. The gummy, like if you're talking about seaweed salad, yes, I would say that seaweed salad is kind of gummy in texture. In a pleasant way, it's got like a nice crunch to it. Aubergine is high in fiber too, and a shit ton of vitamins. I don't know what that is. I kind of want to know what that is. Hold on. Someone else said, but it's very nice to talk about health in a space where it's talked about positively, rather than being on either side of a pendulum, which feels like a lot of leftist spaces. Well, and I don't really understand why, because I think that the fact that health itself has become political... Oh, eggplant! Okay, I haven't actually ever eaten eggplant before. Kimchi. Forrest really likes kimchi, but I struggle. I really want to like it. I'm going to try it again. Last time we had it, we were living somewhere, and I think that I had it not... I didn't have it made very well. Not because of your fault, just because of we were in a kitchen that didn't have a very good kitchen. Or a place that didn't have a very good kitchen. Yeah, wakame. That's what seaweed salad is called. Um, I want to like kimchi though. I want to like it more. Unfortunately, I don't like the tang that usually comes with fermentation. This is true. Also, seaweed, kind of weird question for a first time message, but you didn't message me on Discord at all, perhaps. No, it is a scam. Please, no, if anyone message you on Discord and pretends and says that they're me, my Discord username is not even close to my publicly facing username. And there's someone that goes around in Discord trying to sell commissions pretending to be me. Uh, they've had a few different usernames. I think that they've actually been deleted for impersonation more than once now. Uh, so I love your little character. They're adorable. Thank you. I am sorry that that person messaged you, though. That is not me. Sorry, that was my cat falling from the desk behind me. Do you have any plans on gaining weight while being a picky eater? It's not for me, but a friend that does not like many foods and are pretty underweight. I'm worried about them, so any advice would help. My little sister has struggled with this too. One of the ways that you can kind of buff out your diet is to try and find foods that are rich in fat and protein. So if they like anything with eggs or cream, that can help. I know eggs are really hard for people because people either love or hate them, and I've been eating them since I was little. How does one start eating vegetables? I want to try new foods, but I'm picky. Honestly, the first vegetable that I really ate, other than carrots, which was like my one vegetable for years, was bok choy. And I really love bok choy. I feel like it's a good introduction. Cucumbers are as well. Cucumbers might not have many nutrients in them, but they at least are a good starter. I cook with generic fried chili paste a lot. Put it in my hot pot dipping sauce. Yes, that's true. So have any of your cats tried eating your dried seaweed? I have a cat who loves it eating dried seaweed for some reason. Just tonight, Pluto was climbing me trying to get my seaweed, so yes. I think it's really cute that they like it. He also ate some of my salmon sashimi. Had bok choy on your recommendation, it's good stuff. Okay, so we have someone in Twitch that can vouch. Bok choy is a really good starter vegetable because it's very gentle, but it also has a lot of nutrients in it. Was he at least being polite about it? Yes, I did give him the sashimi. The seaweed, not so much. He was climbing at me for that. Also, I think I saw someone asking if I was eating the seaweed raw. Technically, yes, but it's baked. It's not like... Don't picture just plucking seaweed out of the ocean, although there are ways to do that in a way that's sanitary. It's more like a baked leaf or chip of sorts in squares. You can also use them to make sort of rice pickups. I don't know how to describe. So there's sushi, which is a wrap, or is rice wrapped in seaweed. Then there's a hand roll, which is a hand rolled roll of seaweed and rice with something inside of it. But you can also just pinch the rice and the ingredients that you like and into seaweed and eat it like that too. I don't remember what that's called. I would say I was a picky eater for 21 years. I only started last year with the mindset I was tired of being picky, and I've tried over 150 new foods and 15 veggies since last year. Kua, that's beautiful. I'm so happy. I know where you're coming from too, because my fiance and I, when I started dating my fiance, I ate the same 5 foods over and over again. If I ate at all, it was a really terrible way of living. But I have a lot of standing trauma and pain surrounding food. And he introduced me to a lot of new foods, which I really appreciate. And now I love food. I have a complicated relationship with it, but I think I have very, very expensive tastes, unfortunately. But it's because I got introduced by someone that really likes food too. Harvard is curled up in bed with me. He loves you. That little kitty loves you. Also, I definitely like the line study or the line drawing more. I just think that... Also, I just got a friend request from your account supposedly saying you love connecting with other streamers. Oh no. 3 people. Hey Critter, popping in. Your art is super cute. I'm popping in to say I received a message from you on Discord and it looks sus because we don't know each other. So I don't know if you want to check that account of yours. It's not my account. It's a scam because someone is impersonating me on Discord. I'm gonna re-put out a PSA on Blue Sky. I can't believe that was for reference. You're the third person that's come in this stream, so they've been busy. We'll put out another announcement in the fan Discord about impersonators. I can do that on Blue Sky and Tumblr too. 3 new time chatters. I know it's crazy that it's all in one. Thank you and have a fun stream. No worries, and thank you for letting me know too. I don't know why it's all tonight too, because I've had other people comment and tell me before, but this is a new record, I feel. There is a fan Discord, yes, if you do the ! Discord command. I'm not in it personally, but it is run by the people in stream, just so you guys can hang out and connect with each other. Also, for veggies, roast them, fry them, or make mega veggie soups. Actually, roasting them in sesame oil with garlic is a really good way of making them. That's one of my favorite ways to prepare most vegetables. Also, thank you for the pinned message. I can show you on your Discord if you have a Discord account. It show you the messages that I got from it. You're welcome to share it in the fan Discord. I don't give out my Discord to people, which is also part of the reason why I'm saying it is definitely a scam. I do not share my Discord with anyone, really. Is it okay if I put the message in your Discord so they could see what the person... See what the person is contest and stuff? Countess? Oh, the account is. When you say sesame oil and garlic for veggies, what kind of garlic do you mean? White garlic cloves or diced? I think specifically I do diced garlic, the ones that look kind of like this. They're like little tiny pieces. I don't use minced garlic because I think this tastes best when it's roasted. You can usually get it in a jar, and then you take a spoonful and you put it into the sesame oil and you roast that until it smells and changes color. And I find that helps with the taste of the vegetables quite a lot. Ooh, I did not realize those were the same layer. Awesome, of course. Also, the stream is making me hungry. I'm sorry. Usually I don't talk about food. I just figured that sharing ways to eat healthier foods would be a nice way to... Oh, I don't know why I don't have the aspect ratio on. There we go. I figured it'd be a nice way to share things that I've learned with others. I don't know how that happened. So this one was just the line drawing, or I guess really a sight drawing would be a better way of saying it. So the fake critter does not talk like you at all. That's so funny. I don't really know why people... Not why people would fall for it, but I'm just like surprised that they would even try to do something like that. Key to making your veggies taste good is seasoning how you prepare it. If they're going to be eaten as a side, think steak and veggies. I usually stick to methods that give them a little char, like roasting them in the oven or on a grill. The char adds its own flavor, and usually they don't get super mushy that way. That is true. I love drawing with you. I didn't realize that a stream could help me body double. I'm having so much fun. You know, a lot of people have been saying that for all of the time I've been streaming, and it's been such a delight to hear, because I understand I also body double draw with other people's streams. Unfortunately, they impersonate anyone who has a decent following. I've noticed this. I might have to have a part in my FAQ too saying that I won't DM anyone on Discord for commissions, because I don't. I've actually never communicated with anyone on Discord for commissions, with the exception of Smith and Kale because they're my friends. I think I'm gonna call this one here too. I could add some grays into it, but honestly I don't think that it's absolutely necessary. I'm also gonna hide that. So actually I might need to go grab another plant. You're friends with Smith and Kale? I am actually. I was just talking to them earlier today. They're both sweetie pies. Hold on, I'm standing up to give my back a break too. Your line work is also very lovely. I'm happy to join on plant night. Oh, I should write the name of the plant too. Someone said that a philodendron doesn't have a O, so is it just philodendron? Or was that a fib? Because I could have sworn I've seen an O in them before, but I don't want to be wrong. I'm getting the Lady Gaga treatment with the impersonator. Hello, I'm Lady Gaga, give me your credit card number. Rah rah ooh rah rah. Philodendron. I see, I see. I said the last E is a no. My bad, I missed that. Anything for you, Lady Gaga? Ooh, Lady Gagita. I love Lady Gagita. I think it's like one of my favorite memes. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm gonna swap out for... Also, Angel Absol, actually my favorite Pokemon is Absol. I would say with Reshiram is a close second. I'll be right back. I'm getting the Ring of Fire next. I might have to grab... I wanted to do the Swiss cheese one, but I might grab one of the pothos. Actually, is the Swiss cheese plant very leafy? Like, is it a fuller plant?
No.
Okay, so I might grab one of the pothos instead after this. Because I didn't realize that this one was still teeny.
Or you could just do a fourth plant.
I could probably fit in a fourth plant. Although I can't believe it's already been an hour. It felt so much shorter. So our next one is a Ring of Fire. I'm actually excited to do this one. Forrest looked for this plant for quite some time. He actually had to get it online because he couldn't find it in person. Hour and a half? Time does fly by when you're having fun. So I'm going to start with the silhouette method again. The other thing I think I'm going to want to do is at some point I might sit down and then stylize these. These are a little bit stylized already, but try to do like stylizations of them from the life drawings I've done and figure out ways that I can simplify them so that I could make them things in the background, as opposed to like more detailed props. Because I think that these are already pretty simplified, but they could still be simplified a little more. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a fun rest of the stream. Thank you, Absolute Lover. All the veggie stock is making me crave Chinese food. The one in my town seasons very good. You know, Forrest and I, we don't do takeout very often, but when we do, one of the few things that we do pretty frequently is either getting a poke bowl because it's a really good way to get in a lot of vegetables and proteins, or getting Chinese food because you can basically get like a whole platter of vegetables and chicken like pretty inexpensively, but it tastes really good. And it's good for you. This one's called a Ring of Fire. I think the name is on. Yeah, it's in the top left corner. It's a pretty cool plant when you see it. This one, I guess I'm less painting the shape and I'm more drawing it messily. What do you usually put in your Pokeball? I do ahi tuna, garlic crisps, sushi rice, avocado, sometimes shredded seaweed. Um, and I think that's it. Oh, and scallions. You can get a shit ton of rice and chicken and veggies and it's tasty. Yeah. Got an announcement put out about the impersonator, so we'll keep an eye on the Discord and report accounts involved if possible. Thank you, Toasty. Do I hear car sounds? Yes, I apologize. We live on a pretty busy main road, so every so often there's a lot of people around here that drive their cars with their mufflers taken off, so it gets pretty noisy. I wish they didn't, because even though we've soundproofed the room, it just still comes through. I think this is more like here. Does Critter have actual plants they're referencing? Yes, I do. And actually, these are not my plants. Technically, they're mine because I live in the house with him. But they're my fiance's house plants because he's a plant keeper. He's very talented at it. He was actually just saying earlier today he needs to stop making propagations because he has too many plants because too many of them keep surviving. I haven't caught a stream in ages. Welcome in, 2001 Enjoyer. Also, thank you for the hydrate. Culling the plants. Well, it's more like he's just not keeping the cuttings that he makes and turning them into full plants. When you make propagations, a lot of times plants get too big for the pots that they're in, so you have to cut off leaves so that they don't overgrow their plant, their pot. But a lot of times those cuttings are actually healthy enough, and if you cut them at a node, they can become their own plant. So what you do is you take the cuttings and you can kind of make them their own thing. Too many are surviving. That's a scary sentence. We have an infinite supply of pothos. That's what we have run into as well. Our pothos was one of our first plants that we got together, and it's had many children. And now it's like, well, we can't let you keep doing this. There's too many of them. I haven't been here in 6 months and I became a furry. This happens to many, many, many people that are in the stream, I've found. Ah, wait, I'm doing this the wrong way. There we go. Any advice for plant keeping? That would be a Forrest piece of advice to give if he would like to come in and share, because I think he's listening in the other room, but I can't tell. Let's see. This, like, it works nicely to create a really strong shape. I just think I would need to use a different brush to do this because the pixelization gets kind of, like, crunchy looking. Also, there is a fruit fly that's been harassing me. It's my first FurCon on the weekend and had a blast. Wait, that's wonderful, Cat the Egg. I think I was a furry already, but the stream made me feel safe to admit that to myself. I'm glad. Some plants need to stop surviving. Well, more so, he just needs to throw away the cuttings instead. which, you know, it's a shame because they are perfectly healthy, and, you know, maybe they'll grow in the trash. Maybe the landfill will be filled with beautiful plant clippings that would be better than the thousands of pieces of plastic. I love your pen so much. Thank you. Right, this is the part that I'm a little nervous for, is like the blade of this leaf. Because this is a very specific, like the arch is in a very specific part of the leaf. And it's actually lower down than I was drawing it. I don't actually think you can see the ribs on the other side, though. Also, compost. I would love to compost, but unfortunately, because we live in an apartment, there's no space to do so. No space and nowhere to do so where it wouldn't smell. I will be right back. I just killed the fruit fly, and that is gross. I killed it with my hand by accident. Hello, Harbor. I came back in and Harbor's sitting in my chair. Bug kill count is far more than 3. It is much higher than 3. Harbor stream now? Well, he's sitting and looking quite satisfied with himself. Also, I think someone must have walked over my face in the morning or something, because I just went to the bathroom to wash my hands, and I have, like, scratch marks on my face I don't remember having on my eyebrow ridge, and I didn't know it was there. My face just kind of hurt a little bit. I was confused. I have no idea where they came from. So I wonder if one of the cats walked on me while I was asleep. Captions froze? I can unfreeze them. Sometimes it happens when I walk away. He was waiting for you? He was. He's very sweet. Mentioning getting scratched, not relevant. He is a sweet cat. I got so confused by the use of someone because I forgot cats for a moment. I thought there was a whole human guy walking on your face in your sleep. No, our cats, like, want to... So, Forrest and I, as we're, like, laying in bed, my beautiful diagram, the cats want to sleep as close as they can to all being in between us under the blankets as they can. So you have to imagine there are two people that are sometimes holding each other, and the cats really desperately want to be in between them. So they will stand on our heads until we make space for them to get in, because they want to get into their bed, which is the warm human cave. And they'll get really crabby if you don't let them in. Hi.
This is the best yogurt. No, not just because of that, but, like, genuinely, I think this is the best, like, brand of yogurt.
Okay. Maybe they bit your hair. Well, they have also done that, but it's like actually like a scratch on my eyebrow ridge. Probably why they like slinking into couch cushions as well. This is true. It's very smelly.
Well, one of their advertisements is just like, oh yeah, like you tell friends yogurt tastes like a dessert or something, but like this one actually tastes like that. And I'm like, no, that's a lie. But they were right.
Also, Pepco, thank you for the resub. Evening, everyone. Fashionably late as usual. Hope you're doing well, Critter and Chad. I am, thank you. We're working on plant studies tonight. My cats do sometimes chew my hair, though. It's one of the reasons I can't keep it long anymore. I just came across the Valentine's Draw This in Your Style thing. Is that still going? It is. It is. It's going on until the... Toasty, I hate to ask. I'm pretty sure I said that it was going to be over the 12th, so that we would have the 13th to judge. I don't want to fib. It is almost over. I know that for sure. But I also think it was someone else that set the date, not me. It's especially annoying in the summer because the mosquitoes in my yard attack me and people stand near me so they bug them, not me. What Valentine's thing? It's over the 13th and 14th to judge. Okay, that makes much more sense. Thank you. So there is a character design that's on our toy house right now that is a draw to adopt character design, which essentially just means that there's a contest where you draw the character, and then at the end of the contest, we're going to be picking a person to give the character away to based off of the drawn submissions. And it's not about how well you draw the character, it's about whose idea we find to be most creative for the character. And it is only on Toy House, yes. It was meant to be specifically for Toy House and Twitch people, as thanks for a specific sub goal we made. Also, thank you both, Toasty and Harpy. So I'm like mostly done with this. I need to do like little drop shadow at the bottom. I'm not going to do the grayscale again just because I wanted to compare the different ways of drawing them. And the grayscale's not necessarily important. I'm almost done with making these tater skins, but I can tell I'm also about to overexert myself. Ooh, I hope that you finish them up soon so you can relax. Critter, a question, but how big do you draw on your canvas? Do you find yourself taking up most of the page when you're drawing aimlessly? In digital canvases, I constantly have to shrink what I'm doing. Like, I go from drawing, like, in one corner, and then by the end of whatever I'm drawing, I've taken up the entire page, which can be very frustrating. Ooh, not that. On this note, I just bought something on Ko-Fi. Does it still show up? I think that the notifications were hidden temporarily to show something, but I can unhide them. Thank you for getting something on Ko-Fi, though, 2001 Enjoyer. I think we hid that just so that something could be easier to see at one point. Alright, so this is the silhouette method. Also have a good day, Critter. Thank you, Ari. And I'm going to do... an observational drawing now. So do you need a toy house to participate? You don't need a toy house to participate in the cherry bomb drawing. You just need to submit it to the Google Drive, but the Google Drive and all of the submissions will be visible on the toy, or sorry, all of the submissions will be like viewable on the Toy House by the end. And the character was posted on Toy House so that people on Toy House could see, if that makes sense. But it was also shared within stream so that you didn't need to have a Toy House. It's a very fun leaf shape. It's hard to draw, but it's pretty rewarding to draw too. I haven't checked your Ko-Fi in a while, but I totally should. I have your Night in the Woods print hanging by my bed. Actually, there's been a few prints that have been added that I think are really pretty. I'm quite fond of the mouth-washing one myself. We have a few more of those to send out from Print Club and from orders that were not damaged, because I don't know why our orders of the mouth-washing print came in really banged up. Can't wait until the leaves start turning orange. Yeah. Figured out so much stuff with art recently. Thank you for your stream tutorials and all that stuff. Of course, Sam Waffles. When I've seen you come in here a few times, so that means a lot to hear. I know that a lot of people want art to be something they can figure out quickly and have the answers kind of like immediately start to come to fruition, but I am always very proud of when people stick with it and keep trying it even when it's not like an immediate success. And I don't even think that yours wasn't not an immediate success, just that I know you've been working hard at it for a while. Critter, do you have a favorite plant? I said a little earlier in the stream, I really like orchids, though we can't keep them just because it's not warm enough here. I do also like morning glories. Those are like our birth flower. Decided to give Pokopia a try, even though life simulation games aren't really my thing, and Ditto isn't my favorite Pokemon unless it's the rare occasion. Masuda breed. Figured I'd try it. I hope it's fun. I want to order more plants. They're all very pretty. I would say, too, some of the best places to get plants are like local nurseries, or if you have like plant cafes, because then you can actually go and check them to see how healthy they are. I hear orchids do very well in bathrooms. It would make sense because of the steam. Oh, I don't really like how that stem looks. This is the one trouble of doing them by hand, is that stems can be really tedious. But then when you do them, they look nice, so it's kind of worth the trouble. My hubby wants Poketopia so badly. I have been looking at it. I think you can play it on the Switch one, right? Or is that one where you absolutely must have the Switch 2 for it, or you're locked out of the game? Also, technically, to Iskunero, I already have. Technically, the mouthwashing print was collaborative between a bunch of us, but someone had suggested doing a Reshiram print, and I thought the idea sounded really nice. Plant cafes exist, yes, actually. And they're really pretty, too, because you can go plant shopping while also having coffee. Do you have any tips for staying motivated, keeping momentum while drawing? I found recently I keep losing motivation a few minutes into sessions, and it's kind of frustrating. I think the way that I keep it is by trying to sparse out things that are both fun for me to draw and also do multiple things at once. I know that right now I don't have multiple canvases open because this is like a specified study, but when I work, I often keep multiple art canvases open at the same time, so when I start to get stuck on one piece, I'll switch to another so I don't stop drawing, but so that I don't kind of like fry my motivation. That's usually what I found works for me, because then it encourages you to keep moving, but also not to beat yourself up and just, make a sloppy finished piece. I love Reshiram and Absol so much, I think I'll go crazy. I'll hurt myself and others if you made a Reshiram print. Sorry, I'm only laughing because I know that's the chicken sauce post. And would you ever do an Animal Crossing print? That was one that we had tossed around, specifically with the villager Sky, and I think another... Oh, Sky and Mitzi is her name? Because I have both of those in my town. Let's see... Forget what Reshiram looked like. Like, girl, that's your gen? I love Reshiram. I think it's a really beautiful Pokemon. Really, I'm not like I don't want to be like I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan because that sounds crazy to anyone that doesn't know what I mean by that, but like of all the members of the system, I'm definitely not like the most. But I think that there's a few every once in a while that I'm like, yeah, I like that one. I like Furfru as well. Kyurem is neat, and I like its lore. I think that Kyurem is like one of those Pokemon where I wish they would have gone more into the lore of it. I think part of it, what makes it appealing, is its mystery, of course. But like, I wish there was more things like Kyurem. Mitzi is one of my favorite villagers ever. She was in my New Leaf Town. I also like Blanca. Blanca was in our New Leaf Town too. Or not Blanca. Blanca's the cat. Blanche? She's the ostrich, the snooty ostrich. I really like her. Also, Tinkaton, Big Fairy, Big Hammer. I'm not the biggest Tinkaton fan. I know some other parts might be a fan of Tinkaton, but not me particularly. I think it's okay. So you remind me of Galarian Corsola. I also like Galarian Corsola. I like Galarian Corsola, um, like Furfru. I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of ghost types I really like. Chandelure is always. I think Chandelure is a favorite across the board. I don't really know anyone that doesn't like Chandelure. We all ready for the Bookman Direct in 2-ish weeks coming up? I'm curious about it. I'm interested to see what they'll go over, what we'll get. I'm wondering if we're gonna get any news on Gen 10 or if it's gonna be mostly on Pokopia and other things. But considering it's their anniversary, they usually save something pretty big for it. I kind of want to do this again next week too because I'm having fun doing these. But I want to expand my studies and I want to get into like not just houseplants but also like um, plant life outdoors because specifically I'd love to learn to do this a little better for backgrounds. I have to keep my expectations low for Pokemon so I can love it forever. I understand you. Kyurem supposedly ate people, I need to remind you. That does not make me not think it's cool. I actually think that makes it more fun. I like when Pokemon are kind of scary. They're meant to be monsters, after all. I never said I liked it because it was cute, I just think that it's interesting. I also like that it's kind of an alien. I think all Pokemon have eaten people at some point, probably. And then they also eat each other. I guess that's the thing that I never understood the fear, or like people going, oh, this is so scary, because I'm like, well, they're animals. Animals eat people. I guess people are just scared realizing they wouldn't be the top of the food chain in the Pokemon universe, but for me, that's never been the case anyway. I understand Pokemon fans who want more from the fandom, but I see a cute Pokemon design, I'll go, yay, and then play a fan hack. I am at the same point myself. Bless you. Okay, let's see. I wish they would extend into the horror side more, kind of like Drifloon kidnapping kids. I think that Legends Arceus probably got closest to what I want to see. I don't know if I'd want them to go horror, but I do like when Pokemon are treated a little more seriously as like mythical creatures, not in the oh this is so scary, this is so messed up kind of way, but more just like recognizing that if these things were genuinely real, people would probably be scared of them. I love Legends Arceus. I want so much more of that. I also I'm gonna sound fake. I only watched my boyfriend play, so I didn't play myself. But I would like more of it once I play it myself. Okay, let's see. I'm almost done with this one. I definitely, even still, like the... I'm still liking the line studies better. And I don't know... Actually, I don't know if Lemmy is still here, because she might have something to weigh in on this. I don't know if it's because I can get more, like, flow with the line studies, or if it's because, even if it's not, like, perfectly accurate to the silhouette... Lemmy, I was wondering, while I've been doing these, I have continuously liked this version, the drawn lines, better than I've liked the silhouette version. And I was wondering if there's any, like, noticeable differences you can see between the two. I can even add the drop shadows to both, just so that I'm not cheating and being like... and not giving one something that the other one has. But there's something about the hand-drawn one that, even though I know that the silhouette one is probably more accurate, I enjoy the hand-drawn one more. I feel like the line ones have been more expressive. That's probably also it, too. I find that part of it was what you're doing. The part of it is that you're doing it second, already informed by the silhouette, and now are able to push into the design harder and more interesting pose. No, you're actually probably right, because I'm drawing like a little more confidently since it's not the first time. Maybe it's not actually a bad idea to do the silhouette painting first, because then I can push the pose once I have an idea of where I'm going. I wonder if I could carry this over into gesture too. Hi, Buggy. Because if this is something... Obviously, this is not just limited to plants. I think I called this... What did I call it on the layer below? Sight drawing. He's so meows. He is very yappy. He likes to talk. There's a reason that when I do studies, I do two versions, a reference, and then I attempt combining it with my style, more loose, more intentional with shape. That was part of the reason why I did the silhouette first, even though the silhouette isn't usually how I do things, because in previous study nights, when I've started with my sight drawing or my line drawing, I've found that the line drawing always looked, like, stiff, and it was less satisfying, and it also wound up taking a lot of time. Whereas this time, when I did the silhouette first, the entire observation went faster, and I liked the sight drawing that I did more afterwards. Also, I'm going to be right back. I'm only hiding Critter because I don't want to hide the... I don't want to hide the art. I'm going to go get my last plant. Okay, now I'm back. I kind of want to posture this so that it gets an interesting silhouette. This is the only one that I've had so far that's in a terracotta pot too, so you can like hear the stone... You can hear the stone grinding noise. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. Oh, what is this one called? I can start doing the silhouette while I'm waiting to hear though. Oh, and they don't have heart-shaped leaves. They actually have diamond-shaped leaves, it looks like. I have a habit of drawing everything as heart-shaped leaves because we have pothos in our house. So that's like my go-to every time. I'm sending a picture of the buggy lemming. Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. I don't mind. Okay, I kind of want to see too. Okay, yeah, this is buggy. Does the critter live 2D model bug out when you leave? It does, when I'm not on screen, which is part of the reason that I minus it out. Sorry, this is what was being shared in the Twitch chat for the YouTube chat too. He's so cute. He is very silly. I love him. That's such a good Millennium. What's he doing? He grooms Forest Pillow Pet. That's what the purple thing in the corner is. He licks Forest Pillow Pet, and it very loudly, too, might I add. Monstera Adansoni, thank you. Adansoni. But yes, that is Buggy. That is our baby who licks things very loudly. It doesn't sound like an old man eating chili. It sounds like someone very gently running sandpaper along a pillow. It's not a pleasant sound. The shapes out of this are very interesting too, because the leaves are all kind of like furling around each other. Oh, I'm going to need to shrink this though. So to the person that was asking if I draw bigger or smaller, I hope this answers your question. Usually I draw a lot bigger than I should, and then I have to shrink it. He's like the cat cafe who suckled in my hands for 10 minutes straight and was so loud people a foot away could hear it. Muggy's tongue looks like a red circle mouse thing on laptops. It does. It genuinely does. Hi, guys. I think you've been fed, so you're just coming in to see what I'm doing. You're like, Mama, why are you not in bed? They get very cranky if I'm up late. Thank you for the stretch redeem. Anyway, it's my cutoff point, so I'll come back at another time. No worries. Kind of off topic, but practicing negative space helped me a lot. I recommend people try it. You know, Sam, I don't actually think I've done a negative space practice night in here. That might be something that I try. I have done them before, but it was so long ago now that it might be good to do a refresher. Let's study plants with Mama. And I think this goes here. There's like some nodes down here that make the base of the stem a little thicker. But the thing that's most interesting about this plant is that they have these little holes in them. They're not like a typical monstera. This is the one that I thought the silhouette method might actually be very helpful for. We'll have to find out. Also finished making the tater skins, passes out from exhaustion, but now you can rest, and now you have something good to eat. Study refresh. Like summer school. School as in minnows, and summer as in four-leaf island, leaf of the island. I really need to work on my negative space in art. It's something, it's been so long since I've studied it. I feel like a refresher would help me as well. I also would really like to continue my backgrounds tutorial. I just have to write the second part of the script. Never seen plant drawing like this before. It seems scary but fun. Honestly, it's really good practice. It's not... So what I'm doing, this silhouette method, this is not how I usually do plant drawings. What I've been doing tonight, Baz, is I've been doing the silhouette one first, and then I've been doing the sight drawing second. And while I don't dislike the silhouette drawings, I think that I am enjoying the sight drawing more because after I do the silhouette, it makes it easier to push things. Because I had asked Lemmy earlier in the stream, or just a little bit ago, why she thought the silhouettes were coming out, even though they were more accurate, I didn't like them as much. And she very correctly pointed out it's probably because I'm pushing the gesture more in the second drawing. Because I've already drawn it before, so I get to be a little more confident with it. And then there's this last one here. Best advice for any artist, become chronically obsessed with something. This is true, actually. Because here's the thing, even if what you like to draw quite a lot is just like one fictional character over and over again, you can start adding your practices and lessons into drawing that character. Need to learn how to draw clothing folds? Find references of clothing and then just turn it into a drawing of that character in a fun outfit. It's pretty easy to integrate studies into drawing artwork that you like. You just have to get clever with it. This happened to me with Tachyon. I know, and it's been beautiful to see Lemmy. Alright, so now we get to hollow you out. Literally became better at drawing at humans because I became obsessed with Kieran. That happened with us with many characters throughout over time, specifically human characters, because there just came a point where it was like, I can't just draw everything as furries all the time. I want to know how to draw humans better. Alright. But now I'm good at drawing both. There are definitely some things I need to clean up here, but this isn't the worst. Welcome in, Demily. Hello, I hope you guys had a lovely stream. That's how I've been learning art for the last 9 years. Well, and I like to say that I don't think anyone's ever really fully done at learning art. I think that you just progressively build your skill, and there's ebbs and flows to that too. There are going to be times that you're drawing, you're like, I know how to draw this, why am I struggling so hard today? And that's okay. Hello, I love your little emoji of your lady. Alright. We're currently working on plant studies tonight, Raiders. I'm doing a few different methods. Or really, I'm starting with one method that I've not used before and then going into one I'm more familiar with. The start of them, I've been doing a silhouette where I basically like do a kind of blob painting drawing of the shape of the plant, and then I do a sight drawing that's done with lines. We just started the silhouette for another plant, and I'm going to work on cleaning up the silhouette and then move on to the sight drawing of it afterwards. I'm wondering if I can fit another drawing on here. I might actually need to shrink it. It just seems like it's too big. I do like the Swiss cheese holes in this, though. I think that this might be the best silhouette drawing, just because I like how the holes look compared to how the real-life plant looks. It's the most accurate I've found. That's how you're doing. I thought the silhouette was going to be using the darker colors and erasing the darkness. Not doing the tool you've been using for the others. No, you're not slow. It's okay. You can even erase it too. Like, that is another way to do this. I just think that if we were talking about quickness for study, this is like a good way to do it and do it quickly. Never been that obsessed with a character that it helps improve my art. Jealous of those that experience that. Well, I will say that if you are a furry, I know that many furries have said this is what happened with their fursona, where they wanted to learn how to draw their fursona better or draw them in different environments, and getting very obsessed with that and the avenue of self-expression is what helped them get better at art. It's different for everyone, but personally, I think that my fiance often ends up being my muse because I like drawing him. I think he's very handsome. All right, let's see. This overlaps here. Person who can't obsess over characters. With you. I'm the same. There's a lot of folks that are like that. I think that's also maybe why fandom spaces don't appeal to everyone, because not everybody is obsessed with a blorbo. They just enjoy elements of the story. I would say I'm pretty similar. I think there's only been once or twice I've really been like into a character, but most of the time it's because I either felt that the fan base wasn't as interested in them as they wanted them to be, so I felt like I had to be the driving force for myself, or because I related a lot to the character. The way artists see their partners is always very endearing to me. A guy who's dating an artist. Hi, Buggy. You can't get up there. He's currently trying to climb up onto the computer tower. Hello. I will say doing the veins on the leaf is making this a bit noisy, but they are there, so I want to acknowledge them because they do add some depth and texture to the leaf. This might, if I was doing this with color, I might just paint the veins in, or like do them in a lighter or a darker shade of green. That might be how I communicate those. I do both. I used to do blurbification more as a kid, but now I prefer to have my favorites and be able to engage with the story past them. Yeah. Also, thank you for the gifted sub, Quirky Note. Where is this music from? So it's a Minecraft playlist, but I need to put my headphones on to confirm that this is actually... Yeah, this is Minecraft. I think that the song that's playing right now is Dragonfish. I took my headphones off earlier because they were squeezing my head. No, it's alright. You don't have to be sorry. I thought it was Viva Pinata. No. Although, I've never heard the Viva Pinata soundtrack. I don't know how similar they are. If it sounds anything like this, then I would probably like it. Have it on the brain. Was that what you were playing tonight? I didn't see the raid-in message. I know that you were playing it at another point. I also have been informed, I think that we owe you a drawing of Sneasler and Meowscarada. I didn't do a warm-up drawing today, I just went right into doing the plants, but I intend to do it tomorrow if I can. That is true? Okay, I'm glad that I was not misinformed. It's okay, luckily I like drawing both of those Pokemon, and I think that the prompt was funny. I often find that most characters in fandom just aren't interesting enough for me to draw unless I redesign them a billion times, so I prefer OCs. I understand that. I definitely understand that. I think sometimes it's less that designs aren't interesting to draw, but like the way that people engage with them doesn't interest me. And it's strange because I don't think I dislike romance, but I'm not interested in romance in the way that a lot of people are. So most of the time that there are popular romantic pairings, I don't really have much... I don't know, they don't entice me very much. Let's see. I think this is pretty solid. I could add in a few more shadows. And the other thing I could do is draw the leaf underneath here. I think that's all the places they would overlap. Finally, I can chuff nut again. Same as an aerospec girl myself. I just like. I think it's more interesting to me. And I think what happens is a lot of the times when characters get paired by the fandom, they lose a lot of their characterization, which is also part of it. I miss the Forest Blunt lore. I don't actually know why we made that. I know that there was like someone, I think we doodled that and then people asked for it as an emote. I started being crazy about Tachyon because no one took her disability seriously, and almost half the fandom didn't even engage with the material enough to know it existed. That, Lemmy, and I understand that. You know I understand. This is me with Anya. When people said that Anya was barely noticeable in the plot of Mouthwashing, and I'm just sitting here like, the entire plot of Mouthwashing literally could not exist without her. Like, you're being encouraged to look past the fact that our point of reference in the game doesn't care about her. So he doesn't take time to get to know her. So you have to do that as the audience. Yeah, a lot of people say that Anya's boring or they don't like care much about her because they don't get to know her. Or if they care about her, it's in a very shallow way where they don't care about her personhood, they just care about her victimhood, which is important to the plot of the game, but she is also a person. And actually a really lovable one at that. When the big thing happens to her halfway point in the game, it draws attention to Curly, not her, and that's like deliberate. From a narrative standpoint, that's deliberate because you're meant to see that even when addressing the horrific thing that happened, that was perpetrated, like by whom it was perpetrated, he cares more about what he did to another man than what he did to a woman. Like, that is the point. And I wish that people would realize that that's not like in bad writing, that's just writing a character who is a misogynist. So the story itself is encouraging you to engage with the woman character where the misogynistic male character won't. No, and I love when art does that. I love when it can predict how people will act. See, me, no, I'm not human? Exactly, exactly. Well, and I also think, too, that, like, people say that people, like, a lot of people online say people lack media literacy all the time, but it does interest me when people conflate the perspective of a narrator who is not a good person with the perspective of what the audience or reader is supposed to believe, or what the author themselves believes. Because I feel like most people would obviously be able to tell that unnamed character, because I don't want to spoil Mouthwashing, is not a good person. But at the same time, they seem to fall for hook, line, and sinker his perspective of events as if that's the way that things actually happened. Or if that's the way you're meant to believe and engage with the story. Also, hi again. Welcome in, Pandex. I do also really like No, I'm Not Human. I think about that game's mechanics a lot, and how the mechanics of the game itself actually like serve as a narrative. Like, you as the player become part of the narrative of the story based on whether or not you fall for the surface level things that people like would fall for, even when the game itself tells you that that doesn't matter. It's interesting. Stories with sexist narrators like Mouthwashing hits too close because it's just too real. It does. I enjoy them because I think they feel real to me. It's difficult for me to engage in stories. I think Lemmy and I were talking about this. The concept of a utopia is very foreign to me, not just because it doesn't feel real, like I don't believe it could exist, but also because I can't really engage with a story. We talked about this earlier as well. I must have had the same conversation with Lemmy and you, CJ, which is funny. I circular conversations are not unfamiliar systemly. But I feel that it's difficult for me to engage with stories where they don't address, where they basically scrub hardship from the universe itself, like where things like misogyny and transphobia don't exist. Because even though in an ideal world I wouldn't want those things to exist, it's not the world that I live in, so it's difficult for me to like find comfort in those ideas because they just don't feel realistic. On the other hand, I do really understand when people say they wish, when they say they like to engage in fiction where things like racism, homophobia, transphobia don't exist, because it's a comfort for them. Like, they want to imagine a better world. And I get that. For me, I think I like to imagine a better world where adversity does still exist, but people try regardless. Let's see. Media literacy is growing a lot less common, but people don't understand that it's more of a muscle to flex more. It's a muscle to flex more than a tool. Something you have to actively work on and exercise, and something you're born with. My evil onion too is that I actually don't think that there's any skills that you're born with. I think the only things you can be born with are a human body, and they all function differently, and just your circumstances that you're born into. Which is one of the reasons I really dislike the concept of like artistic talent, as opposed to artistic skill, which is what it is. But I think media literacy, you're correct, is much the same. Where it's not something that's inherent to us. It might come more easily to some people than others, but that doesn't mean that was a skill they were born with. That means that they were able to develop the skill with more speed. Do people think you're born with talent? Yes, actually. There's a lot of people that think that artistic talent, and really like any kind of talent, is inherent. Actually, something that you learn so I've taken a few different like history classes. Specifically, I took the Holocaust history. I took history class going over like how racism, colonialism, and imperialism exist, how the systems are built into a lot of existing power structures. And one of the things that we learned about was that the notion of birthright talent, or like the idea that you can like breed someone to have specific talents, is a philosophy based in eugenics itself. And that's part of the reason why a lot of wealthy people sign their kids up for so many different activities, is because they're basically seeking their talent and trying to figure out like where they can boast their talent and success to essentially prove their bloodline supremacy by teaching these kids skills. It's one of the reasons why wealth is often so associated with skills like that, like art, music making, writing books. I don't know. I think it's interesting. And obviously it doesn't mean that playing instruments and writing books are bad things. It just means that typically the wealthy try to associate themselves with these things that they try to convince you are birthright skills, so that they can convince you that their wealth and their power over you is natural, rather than something that was built upon the backs of many laborers and generations of enslaved people, essentially. And generational wealth. Nodding and learning, I did not know this. I think that the more you learn, I am not someone that's interested in the wealthy I aspire to be wealthy. It's actually quite the opposite. I find the way that wealth moves throughout a civilization and how it makes people behave to be fascinating in the way that some people find like true crime fascinating. I think that you will find a lot more really evil people in the wealthier spheres of the world than you will just some really sick and twisted guy from like the Midwest. I had to draw for 7+ years to get where I am now. I don't understand how people can think that people were born with that talent. No, exactly. Like Missouri. And a lot of people want, that's another thing. A lot of people want evil to be like something you're just born into. Which I personally think, I don't believe in ontological evil. I don't think that someone is evil just by being born anyway, but it is interesting to me in the ways that you are conditioned to dehumanize people when you are born wealthy. So it's not that you are born evil, again, because I don't believe that exists, but that it's a lot easier to become someone that dehumanizes others, which I would argue is a quality that's really twisted, and it's like why I think there's so many things wrong in society. Stop drawing because people expected natural talent from a 9-year-old, but I would like to build up that skill again. You should. The born talent argument is also what pro-AI people use to justify generative AI as well. And, you obviously, you see how much overlap there is with, like, pro-AI people, pro-generative AI people, and wealthy people, and you have to wonder why that is. Like, you have to wonder why they are all up in each other's pockets. I've always been in the boat of having a talent or knack for something. I've always been in the boat of having a talent or knack for something exists to a certain extent, but it's only as good as how much owning and attention it's given. Well, and also your enjoyment is very important. I think a lot of people see talent as the driving force behind what makes someone good at something, but really how much you enjoy doing something is going to determine how much time you put into it. Therefore, you will be better at something that you love. I find there a way eugenics-esque ideas are still so normal in society to be both frustrating and interesting, and how they keep coming back. Theo, specifically, I think that we've talked about this on a previous stream, or like, you had commented on something I found interesting, but I'm blanking on it now. It keeps rearing its head. People keep trying to reintroduce eugenics, but like, cute, or like, they're like, no guys, it's not eugenics this time. I don't know. I wonder why. I wonder why it happens. I wonder how it happens. But I wonder what it means in the fact that I was never sent to those places where you learn different skills, and now I have put my passion in art, but in exchange for not going outside and generally just doing other things as often as I should. I mean, so people want balanced eugenics to be woke flavored so bad. I mean, yes, exactly. And again, I don't know why. I guess because the idea that, like, some people are special or unique or better than others by birth is appealing because it makes people feel superior to others. And I say appealing, air quotes. I don't find the idea appealing in the slightest. But a lot of people spend a lot of their life not feeling special and feeling like there's nothing that they could do and no work that they could do to make themselves feel special. So a lot of people turn to how they're born. I took a civics course, and the prof was big on the follow the money. Like, even for seemingly social issues, i.e. gay marriage, he pointed out that insurance companies benefited from single people. Cyan, I also learned that. Actually, specifically, I learned that a lot of the reason that gay marriage is, like, so heavily fought against is because it would allow for people to choose their partners more freely rather than marry because they feel like they need to marry, which would harm the birth of new workers, essentially, for the capitalist force. Because if people had the choice whether or not to marry, and if they had the choice to marry people that they loved rather than people who they could have children with, supposedly, then your workforce diminishes and people are happier, therefore they're less miserable, therefore they're less likely to get stuck in jobs that they don't want and will work jobs that they can work and live more comfortably to their means. It's capitalism. It is very often capitalism. Well, and capitalism and patriarchy are in bed with each other forever and ever and ever and ever, and there's really no way to separate those two things. As are they with colorism and ableism. I mean, when you start to pull back the skin and you realize how these things are all really just one hideous monster wearing the same mask, even though it has many faces and many different people that it hurts, intersectionality and, like, the desire to help people that struggle with things that are not your specific flavor of trouble, it not only does it become inevitable as you go further into leftism, but it also becomes something that I would hope that most people would desire. Just because I don't struggle and, like, I don't experience racism or colorism doesn't mean that I don't want those things vanquished. I want my friends to live comfortably. I want my enemies to live comfortably. I think it was Will that said this last night on the journal. Just because I don't like someone doesn't mean I suddenly believe in systems of oppression. And just because no personal issue would ever make me want someone to struggle against systemic violence. There's a reason they don't talk about MLK socialism in schools. Smoking critter emoji. Yeah. No, but they do. A lot of right-wingers often bring that up when they're trying to discredit him. I literally just saw, I can't remember if it was Jordan Peterson or Elon Musk, because Sesame Street has like a Twitter, and Elmo, I guess, sorry, I think it's very funny. This is going to be a very funny sentence, so walk with me. Elmo posted Happy Martin Luther King Day. I think I've seen this. And either Jordan Peterson or Elon Musk said he was a communist, Elmo. And I was just thinking about that. And I'm just like, we're at the point where there are adult men bullying a puppet. But also, you're telling me that Martin Luther King was a communist and you think that I think that's a bad thing? You think that would make me not like him? They're always hating the Sesame Street puppets. No, exactly. He's like 3 and a puppet. I know. Going Elmo's 3, leave him alone before I go, he's a puppet. It was probably Peterson. He's the one who keeps getting into fights with Muppets. It's kind of a joke that writes itself, too. Like, what do you mean you're arguing with Muppets on Twitter? The Muppets probably love that. Imagine getting so enraged by an incredible black activist that you yell at a 3-year-old puppet on the internet. It's a joke that writes itself. I wish other art streams talked about this stuff too. I wish it was easier to spot awful people. I find that you can only tell when they're horrible when they're under the right circumstances. I have a lot of compulsive thoughts about how people conflate human rights and media literacy stuff, where the conclusion my brain wants to go to is the worst one. It's hard to battle those thoughts and see the best in people after all that, but I do usually see the best in people. I mean, what I'll say is this. I think that, especially on the internet, there is a strong desire to conflate morality with consumption and to conflate morality with individual opinions on individual things. There are some things that I'm pretty staunch on. I don't think that human rights are an opinion, and I don't think that respecting other people's right to exist is an opinion. That's just something, or it's an opinion, but it's not one I will respect as just, oh, we have a different opinion on this. But I do also think that online in real life, there's less good people, bad people, and there are more just people who have different perspectives. And especially when it comes to media literacy and like how we engage with stories and the power that stories hold. I wish it was more common for people to have conversations with each other rather than to immediately assume someone is evil bad because they have a different opinion on fiction or media than they do. It feels like a lot of conversation on the internet in general has just evolved into blue team, red team, but I feel that way about politics too. I think it would do us a lot of good to realize it's never been blue team, red team. It's always been specific issues to be handled and what person wants you not to exist and what person can help keep you safe. People were mad about the check-in. I only really heard about people venting to Elmo. There was that, and also, hi Buggy. Buggy's sitting on my tower. Well, because some people on blue team still want me dead, that's exactly what I mean. Like, I don't have any sort of allegiance to any party because no party has ever proven to be truly on the side of the people. Or if they are, it's maybe some Americans, not even all Americans, and certainly not people from any country in South America or otherwise. Hello, Buggy. And class versus class 2. Honey, he keeps trying to eat the plant. Okay, so now I can merge these. I am going to do... So I actually think that might be the end of my studies tonight, because I only wanted to do the 3. However, I want to continue this next week, and what I might do is try to find different sceneries with like outdoor plants, because I want to see how I could stylize and simplify those. I could also do another one where I try to stylize these, and instead of drawing from life, I could draw like how I would simplify houseplants for like a background or scenery, but we'll see. I also do think that these actually look pretty good. I could utilize the lines from this and just add them to a piece with Chestnut. I think it'd be cute, because then I could draw Forest with all of his houseplants. Hold on. Plant Time Part 2, A Gift to Me and We. I will probably continue this next week if I don't do the scene from two different perspectives next week, because I don't think we ever finished that. We only did the first perspective. That's not what I wanted to do. There we are. Plants turned out beautifully. Thank you. If you missed them, these were all of our plants from tonight. I still think this one's my favorite. I especially like the sight drawing here. I think the nodules of the stem look really strong. And I think the gesture of this one's great. This one, the detail's really nice, but I actually don't know if I have one or the other that's a favorite. But anyway, thank you so much for coming. I will see you all tomorrow when we're going to be doing commission work. We're going to be working on the name badges a bit more. And I think after that, on Sunday, we're going to be announcing the winner of the Draw to Adopt contest too. Anyway, thank you very much, and I hope you all have a lovely night. Ciao.